Rangers find a way to beat the Anaheim Ducks by a score of 4-3 in overtime. And the game-winning goal was scored by Adam Fox. So the Rangers wasn't all great in this one, but there were some good moments as well. I thought the Rangers really played well in the third period, it's been their best period. That's been consistent, where the first and second periods have not always been great, but the third period, you can count on the Rangers to get it done. And when the game is tied going into the third, the Rangers' record is like ridiculous. They had actually mentioned on the broadcast, they only have 2 regulation losses and double-digit wins. I think even beyond more than 10, maybe upwards of 13 possibly. And that's really impressive. I mean, we're talking about a tie game going into the third. The Rangers win much, much more than they lose in those situations. Alex Georgiev was in goal in this one, and that was somewhat of a surprise. But when you can win when Georgiev's in there, that's huge. Like, that feels like an even bigger win. So, but let's not get sidetracked here to the fact that, look, it did take overtime for the Rangers to win this game. It did take another comeback. The Rangers were trailing in the third, and thanks to the power play, we're able to get it done. So it's a lot of the same for the Rangers, a lot of the usual suspects, contributing in a major way. But to win, find a way to win again, MSG has really been a great home ice advantage for the Rangers, where you want that in the playoffs. And right now at Pittsburgh, the Rangers have a slight leg up right now, where they have played one less game than the Penguins, and they're tied in points. And like I've said, the remaining 3 games of Pittsburgh, that will very likely determine who gets home ice in that series. Washington's lurking. We can't fully rule out the Capitals, but I think it's a safe bet that it'll be the Rangers versus the Penguins. This game saw the return of Ryan Reeves after he was healthy scratched. They went back to the traditional 12 forward, 6 defensemen. Salibor Hayek was out. Reeves was in. Really no surprise there. But I'm wondering, with Georgiev being in this game, if it means that there's a chance that Shesterkin plays both games at Tampa and at Carolina this weekend. We know Shesterkin's going to play against the Islanders on Thursday at the Garden, but I had assumed that for the back-to-back, Georgiev would get one of those games. The unfortunate part is that, those are games against Tampa and Carolina. So in a perfect world, Igor would play both of them. Also keeping in mind that Georgiev played the previous game against Carolina. So I'm just wondering now, maybe this was done so that Igor could play both of those games. That remains to be seen. It could really go either way, whereas I would have, if Igor had played tonight, I think I would have felt very strongly that Georgiev would have gotten one of those games. Now I think it at least opens up the possibility for Igor to get both of those after the Islander game. So it would be John Gibson in net for the Anaheim Ducks. And this Ducks team is really, trending very much downward. They actually just traded Josh Manson the day before, defenseman, to the Colorado Avalanche. So this is a team that I think is going to start to sell off just a bit. But even with that being said, the Ducks, they play a lot of close games. No other team has gone to overtime more than Anaheim, and that's exactly what happened in this game. And the Rangers would jump out to the 1-0 lead thanks to Johnny Brodzinski. First goal of the season for Johnny Brodzinski from Hedl and Schneider. And I thought that third line with Hedl centering Goodrow and Brodzinski was pretty good. The Rangers, by the end of it, they were only rolling the 3 lines. The fourth line did not get a whole lot of action, and deservedly so. But it's very interesting that Johnny Brodzinski, who's been killing some penalties, obviously, when Kevin Rooney returns, Brodzinski, probably won't get as much PK time, but still, he has definitely been noticeable in a good way. So I think Brodzinski, he's, with the trade deadline looming, Brodzinski is showing maybe he can be a guy when it's playoff time that he is in the NHL mix. So, Brodzinski with a pretty good wrist shot. I think John Gibson would have liked to have that one back, but still. And Philip Hedl, he's starting to play better. So I like Heedle's game, and it's starting to come along in what has been a really disappointing year for him. So the Rangers make it 1-0, but it was one of those back and forth games, and it would be a goal for Maxime Comtois to tie it up, assisted by Troy Terry and Adam Henrique. This was a goal that I think Terry took the shot, and it went off of Keandre Miller. Then it went off of Comtois, and then by Georgiev. So tough to fully blame Georgiev there. A bit of a weird bounce, and the Ducks tied up at 1. Then the Rangers would get a power play. Sam Carrick gets a holding penalty, but the Rangers are unsuccessful. And then it's a delayed game penalty by Ryan Lindgren. Lindgren needs to cut down on the penalties. It's been happening a lot. With 14 seconds left in the period, he fires out a play. I do think, though, that the Lindgren-Fox pair was much better in this game. It really was. It was their best pair, pound for pound. So I think Lindgren, again, the penalties are a bit much, but, I would say it was a better game for him. And so we move to the second period, and there's a delayed penalty. I think that Dryden Hunt was the one that drew that penalty. We'll never fully know because Mika Zibanejad scores on the 6-on-5. So it goes down as an even strength goal, but it kind of was a power play goal, to me at least. And so Zibanejad, with his patented one-timer, he kind of fanned on it, to be honest, gets the goal, his 24th goal of the season, assisted by Adam Fox and Artemi Panarin, and it doesn't stop there. Panarin, the second most assists in the NHL. Fox tied for the third most in the NHL among everyone, and he's tied for first among defensemen in assists in the league. So the Rangers take a 2-1 lead. However, Jacob Trouba takes a tripping penalty. Not what you want there. So soon after the Mika goal to give the Rangers the lead, Trouba takes a penalty, and they score. Cam Fowler scores the goal, assisted by Henrique, his second assist on the night. But Fowler gets the goal. I'm not sure if Georgiev saw it. The puck did have eyes. Maybe Igor is in better position to see that one and stop it. Georgiev didn't see it, goes by him, and it's tied up at 2. And then later in the period, it's a tripping penalty by Ryan Strome. Strome earlier in the game had a wide open net. Doesn't convert. It's just frustrating. Strome, it is. For someone who plays so many minutes, who plays really in all situations, certainly power play number 1, and lately, I guess not so much. He does get a little bit of penalty. He's typically kind of that third duo on the penalty kill. But for someone who plays so much, it's just tough. And he takes a lot of penalties. So many stick infraction, lazy type penalties. Then he complains about it, but it's like, dude, that's a penalty. I don't know what you want there. So his first reaction is to complain. It's almost like deep down right away, his instinct is like he knows he did wrong. But so the Rangers are able to kill that power play off. So we go 2-2 into the third. And in the third, Anaheim would take the lead, and it would be a goal by Derek Grant. Patrick Nemeth, it's interesting. In this game, I was upset that the Rangers in many, many instances would not shoot the puck. They overpassed. But here was a situation where Patrick Nemeth just fires a slap shot that gets blocked. I don't really know why he did that. He had nothing there. And so Derek Grant gets behind Braden Schneider, and Grant beats Georgiev. Georgiev seemed like he was in between. I'm not sure if he was going to try to go for the poke check or what, but Georgiev, on these breakaway situations, not really the guy you want in those spots. In a game where I think Georgiev, he made some pretty good saves, including one on Trevor Zegras. That kid is really just so talented. It's insane how he wasn't picked until number 9 in the Capo Caco draft. But Anaheim takes that 3-2 lead. But just what the Rangers needed, a penalty to Comtois, who hooked Adam Fox. Like I said, Adam Fox, to me, is the main story of this game, where, lately his ice time has been diminished, and Rangers had a few days off. He seemed a lot more fresh, moving a lot better tonight. And so Fox draws that penalty, and the Rangers with 50 seconds left or so on the power play, they call a timeout. We've seen them do this before. It's smart. It keeps the number one unit still on for the power play. And who gets the power play goal? Chris Kreider. Chris Kreider's 39th goal of the season, his 20th power play goal. It's just his goal-scoring ability on the power play is amazing. And the assists go to Fox, who took the shot. It was a shot by Fox that went off the backboard right to Kreider, who puts it in, and Panarin gets the other assist. So to this point, Fox with 2 assists, Panarin with 2 assists, and the Rangers tied up at 3. And from there, the Rangers really dominated the rest of regulation. And I was hoping the Rangers could find a way to win it in regulation, because once you get to overtime, it can go either way. But we do eventually go to overtime. And one thing that I've critiqued Gerard Gallant about, and I continue to do so, is his insistence to roll with Chris Kreider on the 3-on-3 with Zibanejad and Fox. It should be Zibanejad, Panarin, and Fox. Kreider takes an ill-advised shot that he kind of fans on, and it leads to an Anaheim opportunity, in which they were unsuccessful. Luckily, Kreider gets off when Panarin gets on, and Panarin streaks down the ice on kind of a mini 2-on-1. He gets it over to Adam Fox. I wish Panarin honestly would have shot it, but it ends up working out. The puck goes to Fox, and he scores. Past John Gibson, it's Fox's 9th goal of the season. Panarin with his 3rd assist. Zibanejad gets an assist, his 2nd point of the night. And 55 seconds into overtime, the Rangers win it 4-3. So a fun game. The Rangers just seem to find ways to win at MSG, where there's been many a times this year where the Rangers, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 minutes, they are down in the 3rd period, and they tie it up, and they win the game. It's a good quality. When the going gets tough, the Rangers really turn it on. So good win for the Rangers. Adam Fox, to me, the main story. Artemi Panarin, though, continues his just crazy point binge, mainly assists, but still. Panarin does a great job. I thought the Zibanejad line was really ordinary in this one. Lafreniere's game has seemed to have kind of quieted down just a little bit, but really I thought the Hedl line, that 3rd line with Brodzinski, really did a good job. So you win with Georgiev and net, you take it, you run, and now the Rangers will take on an Islander team that is playing better lately. This will be a good test in a game in which I think will be pretty intense. The Islanders, they're not going to make the playoffs this year, but they're playing hard. It's a rivalry, so I'm excited to see what happens as the Rangers are coming off a close but good victory in overtime against the Anaheim Ducks.